Thanks, Chris. You could go to the next slide. Yeah, I'll try to land this in a few minutes here, but just our obligatory reminder on who OMUG is. We are what I like to call the outward-facing arm of OMSC. So our reach is far and wide, where we loop in the consultant community as well as external folks. And so, like I said, we typically get callers. Like our last meeting, we had call-ins from Ohio and Washington. So it's pretty, like I said, far and wide-reaching group. And again, your friendly sort of neighborhood coordinators are myself, along with Joe and Lemang. And so we thank you all for continued support of OMUG. Next slide, please. So we convened an OMUG meeting, quickly convened an OMUG meeting, mostly thanks to Joe, a week ago today, where the in-person folks met at Metro and talked about and did a fairly spirited debrief of MOMO. So Bill, in his presentation, mentioned the mobility conference, which was about a month ago in Minneapolis in mid-September. I'm going to spare you all kind of the backstory, the long backstory of MOMO, but if you're interested in that, Peter Boscia gave us a great history lesson on that. So ask Peter about sort of past incarnations of MOMO, but MOMO is essentially the latest incarnation of what was the Planning Applications Conference track and the Innovations in Travel model track. And so we hope that MOMO has staying power, and we'll see future editions of MOMO in the years to come. So next slide, please. This is the word cloud that Bill mentioned. For a moment, I thought Bill was going to steal all my thunder here, but Joe created this word cloud based on the 137 presentations that were given at MOMO. And so you can obviously see travel model front and center. But we spent some time sort of noodling on this, and AI is in there, but it's on the sort of the smaller side. And a few of the other themes, that kind of jump out are obviously data and analysis, but we also spent some time noodling on those themes that were a little conspicuous by their absence, like driverless vehicles and some of the themes that were sort of hot topics the last time around. So it's just interesting how fast our little world changes, and sort of what's hot, a couple of years ago suddenly goes cold, and certainly we would expect AI to kind of continue its trend upward. So in future MOMOs. Next slide, please. Just looking ahead, we are, this was our first OMUG attempt without Carol. And so we learned a couple of quick lessons, but our real test will be us trying to stand up these next few sessions. And so we're looking to put together a freight focus session in sometime this winter. It could be 2025 or 2026. And then after we sort of cut our own teeth on that, we hope to roll out with a travel study focused a session, and a bike and ped modeling session, and sort of multimodal inventory update. Other potential topics that we actually talked about at last MOMO were, we might do a reboot of induced demand. That was the topic of the MOMO's great debate. And so we thought it might be high time for us to get together and maybe talk about, where our understanding of induced demand is these days. And so expect to see that maybe over the next year or so. But if you all have anything you want to talk about, obviously our doors are always open. So, always, feel free to send us an email on any OMUG topics that you think might be of interest. And I think I have one last slide here. So just cobbled together a list of upcoming events. For those of you who are in the Portland area, MPAC, formerly Rail Revolution, right? Rail Revolution. Okay. Is going to be in Portland at the end of the month, at the end of October. So if you're, I don't know, Matt, it seems like there's probably quite a few Metro folks that will be headed to
planners.
MPAC. Yeah. So it's kind of a transit planning sort of based conference. PTV is having their annual conference also at the end of October. And I'm not going to name off all these, but I will give folks a quick heads up that I checked the TRB annual meeting site. Early bird registration is now open, I believe, and it is available until early November. Quick show of hands, who's going to TRB, or who plans to go to TRB?
I was planning to.
Kyle,
We have one person.
anybody in the chat room planning to go to TRB? See no hands. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, if you do decide otherwise, make sure you get your early bird registration in soonish. And I think that's all I have, and it's 3:02.